Hey, how's it going? Happy Monday. Been really consistent. I've been putting out videos every single day for the past week, so I'm trying to get like a streak of videos. I don't know if I'm required to put out videos on the weekend. That's kind of iffy. I might start doing it. My weekends are always so busy anyways. This weekend I had an awesome time. I went to this really cool workout class at Champion Fitness. I'm such a big fan of Champion Fitness and TJ Simmons. He's the trainer there. His whole entire team is just really, really, really great. They're all very skilled trainers, and my favorite thing about it is if you actually go there and you work out, you really will lose weight. Like my girlfriend and I have been going there now for about I think 3 months, and we physically look different. If you follow me on Instagram and you look back at the first picture that I put out when we were working out at Champion, I look physically different and she looks physically different. So that proves that it's worth it. I Before that I was going to a gym like working out all the time, and I always kind of like maintained the same like plateau look. But working out with TJ and his trainers, I've really gotten into better shape, and I've developed like more athletic type of form in my body. I've definitely developed more athleticism. But this video, I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit of some code. I have really gotten into. I'm really into C because it's very simple. It's a very simple language when it comes down to it. It's very difficult when you add a little bit of complexity to it, but I'm really getting into data structures and algorithms. I'm just preparing to, get into a field that's going to allow me to work with more system programming languages like C, C++, and Java. I'm very familiar with Java, C Sharp, C++, and C. However, I would like to. I want to get to the point where I'm like a senior, like I have like a senior dev knowledge. Like people can show me things, I'm like, I know exactly what that is. I've seen that 1,000 times, and this is how you do it. I'm kind of like that now in PHP and JavaScript. I would say, like I get it. I can look at stuff and I get it. I don't know. PHP is different. I mean, I feel really confident in those languages. I feel really confident in web languages. And like if someone said, "Oh, we have to make a React app or we have to make an Angular app," like in a week or two, I feel like I could probably completely switch into that field. I don't think it would be too crazy. These frameworks they're not insane. It's all the same basic programming concepts. But I'm trying to understand system programming, more system languages, because you have to. They're very like C is very type heavy. It's a type heavy language, and so I've been working on that quite a bit, trying to understand more about C. So I made this little program here that merges two linked lists. And for example, like one thing I didn't even think about, I didn't even think I would learn this from writing this little program, but I actually understand source control more. So I'll go to online whiteboard. So, like you've probably seen merge if you use source control, but in C, this program, what it does first is it gets some data from you first, and then we have our list one. So this is a head, and then we have a pointer to our data. And what it does is it stores the data in an ordered list. So this would be like 1, and then this would be 2, and 3, and then finally null. So first things first, you got to know how to make an ordered list. And I've already made a video that actually shows you how to do that. So that's awesome. And then we have another list. This is head 1 and then head 2. This would be pointing to, let's go with 5. Six, and then pointing to null. So when we create a merge, the first thing that we do is we just declare this. I'm going to talk about the case that you do where you're not actually changing the links. You're just creating a new list. So we can declare a new head and we'll call it startm, or yeah, I'll call it SM because writing is kind of hard on this whiteboard. What you do first is you make this head node SM and you have it pointing to null. And then we take the first element, I guess the first link in our two lists. So we take 1 and 5, we compare them. We say, which one is greater? Or which one is greater? So we say 5 is greater. Okay, well then we want to insert 1 into here. And then we bump along in H1. And now we say, okay, 2 and 5, which one's greater? 2. Okay, we insert 2 in here. And then we go 3 and 5. Which one's greater? 3. And then finally we go, we've reached null in the first list. So guess what? Since these are ordered lists, it doesn't matter. We just take that last list and we just completely assign all the rest of the links to this SM list. So we get 5, and then we get 6, and then it gets null. So that's how you can do this with just creating a separate list. The whole entire time we're just going through and we're comparing the elements from the first list to the second list. So here's the actual function for it. Insert in order. This just creates if, so the first part of this, if it's null or the data is less than the info stored in the beginning of the list, put it at the beginning of the list. And then if it's not, keep on jumping through the list until you finally run into a node where the data is less than it, and then put it in before that. That's all that does. Display list prints out the list. And then merge list. Okay, this is the one that actually creates, you can tell I made 2 functions. So this first one, look at how crazy it is and how big it is. This is when you create 2 separate lists, and then this other one is when you just exchange links. So exchanging links is definitely easier code to understand. But this first list, it's exactly what we just drew on the whiteboard. You have this temporary node that you're going to use, and then you have this PM that you're going to use to bump along and compare the node from the first list to the second list. So first you have to allocate a little bit of memory, and then you want to make this guy pointing to null because you're basically going to be inserting him at the end of this start M. So start M points to temp, and then temp points to null, so you have like the beginning of your list. Then we just have to check the first 2 nodes. So we check the node of list 1, and if the node of list 1 is less than the node of list 2, then we assign temp info. It gets that little piece of data, and then we bump list 1 along, and we don't worry about list 2. Otherwise we do that for list 2. And then we take this PM node and we point it to start. And this is like in the code I was saying, okay, we're going to compare list 1 to list 2. We're going to compare list 1, list 2, compare list 1, list 2. So here we're comparing list 1 with list 2, and it's the same exact code from the beginning of this program. We just have to get it started with that condition. And then we just keep on going through the list until one of these is null. And then when one of these is null, we will just keep on we'll add the rest of the list to it because it's inserted in, like the insert in order function makes it so that the list is already ordered. So it's an ordered list. That makes the merge easy. This is pretty cool because like when you're merging your changes, sometimes you have like a merge conflict, and it's because things aren't in order. There's like a conflicting order to it. So when you understand how merging linked lists work, it's kind of easier to understand how merging changes and commit history work. It's just one of the weird things that has kind of come from understanding this, looking at this a little bit deeper. But I'm looking at this from this book called C in Depth. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to try and work my way all the way through it because I really do think that it'll be valuable when I do decide to make my own programming language. Not sure why I really want to make my own programming language other than the fact that I just want to understand programming languages at a deeper level. That's pretty much it. The more that you practice with this stuff, it seems like really high level concepts are easier to understand because I don't know. I have a degree in physics and I've always kind of thought about things at the most fundamental level. So even below this, I don't know. C's about as low as you can go nowadays, but you could make things in assembly where you have like jump operators and just like a couple lines in there. Maybe at some point I'll write an assembly language program, but for now just C. So if you ever want to know how a merge list works, that's it. That's all my code. This code is up on GitHub too. I'm not posting links to my repository anymore. If you guys want links, if you want to look at my stuff on GitHub, then you just have to go find Evan Gertis and you can look at my stuff. I'm just making programming videos that kind of talk about coding, and then this is all part of a course that I'm building. So when you want the real thing, I'll put it out for free on Udemy once I finish everything up. But that's it for my blog today. Just kind of want to talk about merge lists and see benefits of kind of understanding C.